Welcome to Sleepy Tales of History, a quiet corner of the world where the past whispers softly and the echoes of forgotten civilizations drift through time like waves on the ocean. Tonight, we'll journey far beneath the surface of calm blue waters to explore one of the greatest mysteries ever told, the story of the lost city of Atlantis. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let the soft rhythm of the waves carry you back to a time long before recorded history, a time when, according to ancient tales, there existed a magnificent island kingdom, so advanced, so beautiful, that even the gods took notice. This is the mystery of Atlantis. Our story begins in ancient Greece. Around 360 BCE, the great philosopher Plato sits before his students in the Academy of Athens. The warm Mediterranean air moves gently through marble columns. Scrolls and oil lamps surround him as he begins to speak. He tells a tale he claims was passed down from his ancestor Solon, a wise statesman who once traveled to Egypt. There, the Egyptian priests spoke of a powerful civilization that existed 9,000 years before their time, a vast island empire called Atlantis. Plato describes Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. It was, he says, larger than Libya and Asia combined, a land rich in resources, filled with majestic temples, gold and silver, ringed by mountains and plains of fertile land. The Atlanteans, blessed by the gods, grew powerful and proud. Their capital city was built in concentric rings of land and water, each ring connected by bridges and canals. At its heart stood a grand temple to the sea god Poseidon, whose children ruled the land. But over time, power turned to greed. The Atlanteans became corrupt. They sought to dominate other lands, and even tried to conquer Athens itself. And then came the punishment. The gods, displeased with Atlantis' arrogance, sent earthquakes and floods. In a single dreadful night and day, the island of Atlantis sank beneath the sea and vanished forever. Plato paused after telling this story. Was it a warning? A metaphor for hubris and moral decay? Or was it real? That question has echoed through human history ever since. After Plato's death, his tale of Atlantis spread slowly across the Mediterranean world. Historians, poets, and travelers repeated it, each adding their own color and imagination. To some, Atlantis was a utopia, a perfect world that once existed and could inspire humanity to greatness again. To others, it was a cautionary myth, a symbol of pride, greed, and the inevitable fall of civilizations that lose balance with nature. Through the centuries, Atlantis slipped between myth and memory. When the Roman Empire rose and fell, when medieval scholars copied ancient Greek texts by candlelight, the legend of Atlantis quietly endured, like an ember waiting to ignite once more. By the time of the Renaissance, as explorers set sail across uncharted oceans, the idea of a lost world beneath the sea captured human imagination once again. The new world just discovered seemed to confirm it. Perhaps some thought Atlantis lay across the Atlantic, somewhere between Europe and the Americas, and so the legend took new life. As centuries passed, the search for Atlantis moved beyond philosophy into exploration and science. From the 1500s onward, explorers, adventurers, and scholars began to look for traces of this lost world. Some claimed Atlantis lay in the Atlantic Ocean, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the modern-day Strait of Gibraltar. Others suggested it might be the Azores, a chain of islands in the middle of the ocean, where ancient ruins seemed to hide beneath the waves. In the 19th century, the legend flared up again when writer Ignatius Donnelly published his book Atlantis, The Antediluvian World. He argued that Atlantis was real, a great civilization destroyed by a global catastrophe. Donnelly believed that the cultures of Egypt, Mesoamerica, and Greece all carried echoes of Atlantean influence, that it was the mother civilization of humanity. His book became wildly popular, and suddenly Atlantis was no longer just a myth. It became a mystery to solve. Scientists, treasure hunters, and mystics alike all began searching for proof. Over time, many locations have been proposed as the site of Atlantis. Some point to Santorini, the Greek island once known as Thera, destroyed by a volcanic eruption around 1600 BCE. Its ash-buried Minoan cities, Its explosion sent tsunamis across the Aegean Sea. Could this have been the disaster Plato described? Others believe Atlantis lies in Spain, in the marshy plains near Cadiz, where aerial photos show circular patterns beneath the soil. A few turn to the Caribbean, to Bimini in the Bahamas, where divers once found mysterious underwater stone formations known as the Bimini Road. And still others dream of Antarctica, suggesting that ancient maps hint at a civilization buried beneath the ice. But perhaps the most intriguing theory of all is that Atlantis never sank at all, that it was simply a memory of the Minoan civilization, filtered through centuries of storytelling and imagination. Science has yet to prove or disprove any of these theories, and maybe that's part of Atlantis' magic. It lives in the space between what is known and what is dreamed. From books to movies, paintings to songs, Atlantis has inspired countless artists and thinkers. It represents something deep within the human soul, a longing for perfection, a memory of something lost. Writers like Jules Verne imagined underwater cities. Philosophers like Francis Bacon envisioned the new Atlantis as a symbol of human progress. Even modern films and games echo the same dream, a world advanced and beautiful, yet gone forever. Atlantis is not only a myth, it's a mirror. When we look at it, we see our own hopes, our fears, our potential for greatness, and our tendency to destroy what we love. Perhaps that is why the story endures. When we peel away the layers of legend, we find a deeper message hidden beneath the waves. Plato's Atlantis was never meant to be just a mystery story. It was a lesson, a reflection on power, morality, and the fragility of civilizations. Atlantis stood as a symbol of a society that lost its way, that forgot humility, that traded wisdom for wealth, and harmony for conquest. In that sense, Atlantis is both ancient and eternal. Every empire that has risen and fallen carries a piece of its story, and perhaps Plato's words still whisper through time, reminding us that even the greatest wonders can vanish in a single day and night of misfortune. Imagine now the ocean at night, calm, dark, endless. Somewhere far below, the ruins of forgotten worlds sleep quietly beneath the sand. Maybe Atlantis is not a place to be found, but an idea to be remembered. Calls to us to seek knowledge, to live in balance with nature, to respect the forces that shaped our world. And in that sense, Atlantis is still alive, in every dream of discovery, in every question we ask about the past, and in every story we tell before falling asleep. As we reach the end of our tale, the waves grow slower, gentler, like a heartbeat fading into calm. The story of Atlantis reminds us that history is not always written on paper. Sometimes it is written in the sea, in myth, in memories, and in dreams. Whether it was real or imagined, Atlantis continues to shimmer in the collective imagination of humankind, a city of light and learning, forever lost yet never forgotten. So now, let the waves take the story away. Let your thoughts drift like soft tides. And as the echoes of the lost city fade into the deep, you too may drift peacefully into sleep.